We are told that the atomic bomb was the most terrifying invention in history. But what if the true nightmare was its absence? Los Alamos, New Mexico. In our world, the desert shook with the power of 1,000 suns. But in this reality, the Trinity test is a silent failure. The physics don't add up. The great destroyer is never born. President Truman waits for the news that will never come. The war in the Pacific is not ending, it is only beginning to hunger. Without the bomb, there is no surrender. Japan prepares for the inevitable, Operation Downfall, the total invasion of the home islands. November 1945. The beaches of Kyushu become a slaughterhouse. This is not a battle, it is an industrial-scale massacre. Millions of American lives are traded for every mile of Japanese soil. The casualty lists in Washington grow longer every hour. The arsenal of democracy is pushed to its absolute limit. Every factory in the US is now a 24-hour furnace of war. By 1947, Japan is a scorched wasteland, but the war refuses to die. It evolves into something far more brutal. In Europe, the Cold War never begins because the Hot War never ends. Stalin's Red Army does not stop at Berlin. The Soviet Union and the Western Allies clash over the ruins of Germany. A new, permanent front line is drawn across the heart of Europe. It is now 1952. The Second World War has reached its 10th year. Peace is a word forgotten by a generation born in bunkers. Technology has taken a different, more lethal path. Without nukes, scientists focus on chemical and biological perfection. Cloud war becomes the new reality. Entire cities are vanished by colorless, odorless toxins dropped from high-altitude bombers. The oceans are no longer safe for travel. Automated killer subs with early AI sensors hunt anything that creates a vibration. By 1960, the global economy has collapsed into a war economy. Money is worthless. Only steel, oil, and blood have value. London is no longer the capital of an empire. It is a fortress city, covered in thick steel plating to protect against the constant rain of rockets. In our world, the space race was about exploration. In this world, it is about orbital bombardment. The rods from God, kinetic weapons that hit the Earth with the force of a bomb, but without the radiation. The Earth's surface is scarred by thousands of these craters. From the space, the planet looks like a gray, bruised marble. Totalitarianism becomes the only way to survive. The great democracies have turned into military dictatorships. Freedom is seen as a luxury that costs too much blood. Obedience is the only currency left. The sun is rarely seen. The atmosphere is choked with the soot of 1,000 burning cities and 1,000,000 factories. The war has lasted 36 years. The world's population has been cut in half. The Soviet Union has evolved into a machine state. Humans are just parts in a massive continental-scale weapon. In the United States, the Pacific Wall is 1,000 miles of steel and radar stretching from the Arctic to the tip of South America. People no longer live in houses, they live in life support cells, stacked containers beneath the Earth's surface. Sunlight is a commodity sold to the elite. The rest of humanity spends their lives under the flicker of neon and fluorescent tubes. The year 2000 arrives. In our world, it was a time of digital hope. In this world, it is the year of the great exhaustion. The planet's resources are gone. The oil is dry. The coal is ash. The war machine begins to eat its own children for energy. This is the true long war, a conflict that forgot its cause and became its own purpose. Biological engineering has created worker soldiers, humans born with no vocal cords, designed only to follow orders and work until they expire. Without the nuclear peace, the 20th century was a meat grinder that never stopped turning. The 21st century begins with the first orbital cities, not for life, but for the masters to escape the dying planet below. From above, they watch the Earth burn, 1,000 small conventional wars flickering like dying embers in the dark. We fear the bomb because it can end our world in an hour, but we should fear its absence more. The bomb was the only thing that forced us to sit at the table, to talk, to fear each other enough to stay human. In the shadow of the mushroom cloud, we found a strange, terrifying stability. In the world without the atom, there was no stability, only the infinite escalation of the blade and the bullet. The Cold War was a blessing we never appreciated. It gave us 40 years of music, art, and growth. In this shadow timeline, there was no moon landing for the sake of wonder. Armstrong and Aldrin never left their bunkers. By 2025, the human population has fallen to less than 1 billion people. The Earth is a quiet, rusted shell. The war finally ends, not because of a treaty, but because there is no one left to fight, and no fuel left to burn. The eternal war leaves behind a planet that will take 1 million years to heal. We look back at Hiroshima and Nagasaki and see a tragedy, and it was. But that tragedy was the sacrifice that prevented 100 Hiroshimas. It was the shock that woke a sleeping species. We live in the timeline of the atom, a world where we learn to fear the fire enough to stop using it. Every day that a nuclear weapon is not used is a victory for our species. In the shadow timelines, that victory never happened. The link in the chain broke and the world fell into the abyss. This is the warning. History is not a straight line. It is a series of dangerous choices. We are the survivors of the most dangerous century in history, but the danger is not over. We must never forget that the fire of the sun is in our hands, and it is up to us to keep it as a sun and not as a bomb. In the world without the bomb, there was no choice, only the inevitable march toward the end. But in our world, we still have the power to choose, to talk, to survive. Let this be a reminder. The next time you look at the sky, be thankful for the peace that fear has bought us. Because the alternative was an eternal war that no one could win. We are the children of the atom. We are the fruit of the most terrifying decision ever made. And as long as we remember the shadow, we can stay in the light. The timeline is secure, for now. But history is a patient hunter. It waits for us to forget. What will happen when the fear finally fades? Will we find a new reason to stay human? Or will we find a new way to burn? The answer is not in the history books. It is in the decisions we make today. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the dark. If you enjoyed this exploration of alternate history, subscribe to Shadow Timelines for more stories of the worlds that could have been. What if scenario should we explore next? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious and keep an eye on the shadows. In a world without the bomb, we didn't just lose our power, we lost our way. Don't let the shadow become the reality. History is watching.